Thursday and Friday both should be nice days with plenty of sunshine. High Thursday, 74 to 76. High Friday, 76 to 80. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Waldron.
The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917.
Who's ready for some good, clean fun? The Ocala Rv Show, Thursday, March 4th through Sunday the 7th at the Florida Horse Park, Central Florida's largest RV show. Hundreds of RVs on display, all outdoors. Plus RV lifestyle booths and daily door prizes. No purchase necessary. Buy one, get one free Thursday only. First responders save $2 every day. The Ocala Rv Show, March 4th through 7th. Thursday 9 till 5, Sunday 10 till 4 at the Florida Horse Park, U.S. Highway 475 South, Ocala. Get ready for some good, clean fun.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Good Wednesday morning. Welcome to Ocala Talks. I am your host, Tom Schmidt, coming to you live from the palatial studios of WOCA Radio, just outside the food court entrance to the Paddock Mall in the Brick City, beautiful Ocala, Florida. I'd like to thank Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center. They're located at 2700 Southwest 34th Street. They offer skilled nursing, physical, occupational, and speech therapy. If you have any questions how they're handling the COVID-19 pandemic, give them a call, 352-854-6262. I'd also like to thank Penn Flooring this morning. They're family-owned and operated, serving Marion County for over 30-plus years. They're a full-service flooring company with commercial and residential experience. Go see their showroom at 1201 Southwest 17th Street here in Ocala, or give them a call, 352-351-3420. And the reason I'm thanking those two sponsors is because without them, we would not have the guy that is on with us daily from 8:05 until I get tired of talking to him, Galen Unall from Life South. Galen, good morning.
Hey, what's going on, Tom? How are you?
Good, good. You know, somebody said, is Galen 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour? I said, he's until I hang up.
I just hang on, and then I go back to sleep when you hang up with me, apparently.
Right. It's just, that's all you do. That's all. We put you back in the box.
That's
right. You're like
right.
Walter and Jeff Dunham. I just bring you out of the box.
That's correct.
You say some things that maybe tickle somebody's fancy, and then we put you back in the box.
I'm almost as old as Walter now, so I have the same haircut.
There is that. Does Walter look a lot like Joe Biden? Am I wrong in that?
Oh, well, before he had his teeth implants and his hair plugged, yeah.
Yeah, didn't Walter look a lot like Joe Biden?
And all the Botox. Yeah, I mean, Joe Biden's had a lot of work done, and good for him. But he would look like him if he wasn't, plastic surgery up.
Speaking of doing some work, I went last night and did some research on this Dr. Seuss issue.
Yeah, this bothers you, doesn't it?
It really does. It really, because I grew up with Dr. Seuss, you know what I mean? And
sure.
For people to think that, green eggs and ham or something, and I know there's 6 books that have been canceled over racist images.
Correct.
It's... And to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street was one of them. I don't have all of them in front of me here, but
the zoo.
Yeah, the zoo. But a lot of these
they just silently stopped printing them.
Yeah, so, it's including, and to think I saw it on Mulberry Street, and if I ran the zoo, they'll stop being published because they're hurtful or wrong according to these. According to this, also the other books, McElligot's Pool, On Beyond Zebra, Scrambled Eggs, Super, and The Cat's Quizzer. So I went and did a little research last night, and I looked at these books, and it's not about the content of the story. It's about some illustrations.
Right.
And the illustrations, there are a couple illustrations that are stereotypical of the Japanese people that were in the Saturday Evening Post. They were in the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times. All these characters were put in these papers in the mid to late 40s, because at the time, the most hated entity to the United States was the Japanese. They had, within less than a decade, had bombed Pearl Harbor. Okay, go back and look at the cartoons, the political cartoons, and the drawings from 2001 to 2005. Guess who's not painted in a real particularly good light during that time by national satiric cartoonists? Oh, that's right, people of Muslim faith, because of the bombing of the World Trade Center, the destruction of the World Trade Center. It's how people get over things. The Japanese were a hated entity at the time. And now we're going back 60, 70, 80 plus years and saying, that's offensive, we have to take it out. If that's the truth, then Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn better never be on a bookshelf anywhere in this country.
Well, but they already have been, Tom. I mean, you never see the movie out of either one of them that are classic movies. You know, they've gotten rid of Gone with the Wind. It's the dismantling of a lot of books. You know, Amazon has now, decided that they're not going to print certain conservative views. This is what happens. And I think what's going to need to happen is an event like this for you with Dr. Seuss is going to need to happen to more people before people realize this cancel culture has to stop.
Yeah, we can't do this book burning stuff. We can't do it.
Right. There's nothing wrong with looking at something and going, oh, wow, I really need to look at this and put it into context of when it was written. That's the only way I can learn from it. Right? You cannot hide from your past. You have to learn from it. And what we're doing is not only trying to hide from our past, but destroy it and bury it.
Because that way the future generations will say, oh, it didn't exist. Yes, it did. Just because you destroy the record of it doesn't mean it didn't happen. This is not the old adage, if a tree falls in the woods and nobody hears it, does it make a sound? We know for a fact trees falling make sounds, whether you are in the woods to hear it or not. Just like we know for a fact slavery happened. We know for a fact Japanese internment camps happened. We know for a fact that the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. We know these things. You can't, even though you try to erase them, we know they happened.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you go back to when you read a book like Huck Finn, you would read it in a classroom and it was discussed. Right, and they talked about the era in which it was written, in the context. The same is true for a book like Hamlet. When you read Hamlet or To Kill a Mockingbird, my youngest son just finished it, and he must have asked me 100 million questions.
But it got his mind going. It got his mind going.
It's supposed to. That's correct. And you need, and you would be like, well, oh wow, this. Well, Dad, what do you think? And then we would talk about it. And that's the purpose of good literature, is that you can put yourself in the shoes of someone else. And if we destroy that, then we're going to lose an entire point of view, which is incredibly important. Is a Diary of Anne Frank next? Right? I mean, where do we draw the line? And I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
Is The Miracle Worker coming up for review because it made blind people look like they were dumb and couldn't figure things out? So is Miracle Worker next? It portrayed Helen Keller as an angry child who, because she was blind, if she didn't get her way, she would pitch fits and everything, and it made her look, like she was, angry all the time. So is that a bad portrayal of blind people? So we got to take that book off the shelf?
Yeah, and again, it just drives me crazy. It's like I loved the Lone Ranger growing up. That was my favorite show. Tonto, Was that realistic? Of course not. It was a TV show. You know, and every time somebody back then, oh, you're an Indian, they would just say how, and you'd be like, yeah, thank you, Kimosabe.
I guess we got to take Johnny Quest has got to come off the TV.
Sure.
They had a someone of Indian descent named Haji. We got to get that off the TV. You surely can't play the Gilligan's Island where the Japanese the Japanese guy shows up on the island, doesn't know the war's over.
Sure.
Oh, you really can't play that. That was a serious caricature of the Japanese people.
Sure.
Hey,
you know, and I don't know where it stops. We have to figure that out.
We need to take a break. When we come back, I think that I can show you something else with this Dr. Seuss thing, and I want to know if you go. When I read it last night, I go, huh, that's a little strange. We'll talk about that next. You're listening to 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source, Ocala Talks. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
PennFlooring.com. Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at PennFlooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Who's ready for some good, clean fun? The Ocala Rv Show, Thursday, March 4th through Sunday the 7th at the Florida Horse Park, Central Florida's largest RV show. Hundreds of RVs on display, all outdoors. Plus RV lifestyle booths and daily door prizes. No purchase necessary. Buy one, get one free Thursday only. First responders save $2 every day. The Ocala Rv Show, March 4th through 7th. Thursday 9 till 5, Sunday 10 till 4 at the Florida Horse Park, U.S. Highway 475 South Ocala. Get ready for some good, clean fun.
Well, hello there. Danny Boy here. Now, I've been suffering from some bad luck lately. I've been sick and weak, and I've even been falling down, don't you know? But now I've got the luck of the Irish. I'm choosing Palm Garden for my rehab. I might not find that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, but I'm lucky to be getting back in my health. With a wee little help from Palm Garden will get me back home really fast. Visit Palm Garden, located at the corner of Southwest 27th Avenue and 34th Street, right here in Ocala, don't you know?
Now you did it. Are you completely insane? He's back. He, who must not be named. The man, the myth. The only guy in Ocala to eat his own weight in fried pickles. Twice. Now, you asked for it. Sorta. Live and in person. It's Tom Schmitz.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Wednesday morning, an overcast Wednesday morning. The rain, I think, is past us, but it's going to cool off a little bit. But it'll warm right back up tomorrow, so we're in good shape. Galen Unall from Life South joined us. Brought to you by the good folks at Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center and Penn Flooring. Galen, I saw this last night in an op-ed piece written about the Dr. Seuss, and I went back to do the research to make sure the op-ed piece was right, because you have no idea what people may or may not write and how truthful it is these days. So you got to check and recheck. But there's a 2011 or 2012 time where Michelle Obama was reading to a classroom, and guess what book she was reading?
Oh, of course.
She was reading a Dr. Seuss, Horton Hears the Who, not one of the six, but still, Horton Hears the Who by Dr. Seuss. Nobody had a problem. Do you know when this problem first arose with Dr. Seuss? And I went back and looked. There's been, grumblings about his political cartoons that Theodore Geisel drew in the 40s, but not about his Dr. Seuss books. Do you know when the first person stood up and said these could be overtly racist? When First Lady Melania Trump donated them to a Massachusetts elementary school librarian, and the librarian said, no, these are racist.
There you go.
Can you draw a court? Is there anything that am I reaching here that Michelle Obama reads from Dr. Seuss? It's okay. Melania Trump donates Dr. Seuss. Now all of a sudden he's racist.
The same is true. It's like now all these states are starting to open, right? Orange Man bad is the solution for a lot of people. You know, Texas is 100% open, no longer a mask mandate. Mississippi, fully open, no mask mandate. And I think you're going to see that across all these red states. So DeSantis, if you're listening, remove the mask mandate. There's no reason for my son to wear a mask at school. None.
Wow.
I believe the science.
Galen, you know, on the record of Governor DeSantis removed the mandate.
Yes, and I think he will. I think he's going to wait until he gets past spring break, just because of spring break in Florida.
Right.
Last year was such a lightning rod. But mark it down. The last week in March, first week of April, the mask mandate will be removed. We're already at 100%, right? You know, all the restaurants have that option, but the mask mandate is still in place for, you know, most inside.
Well, I just think that we're not going to return, and I gauge this, and maybe it's because I'm an amusement park guy, but I gauge normalcy by amusement parks. And Disney still at 35% capacity, Universal at 40% capacity, SeaWorld at 40% capacity, temperature checks, mask mandate. I actually am an annual pass holder at two of the parks. I recently reached out on a online chat with both places to see what the thoughts were so far from the powers that be on when the mask mandates at the amusement parks will be removed. 2022 is their projection.
No way. No way. And part of the reason why they're doing it
liability
is, well, liability, but more than that, it's so important to Disney for their optics.
Right. Oh yeah.
Right. But you know, and they're an incredibly left-leaning company. But what will happen?
Left-leaning.
The way it always works.
Disney's on its side to the left. It's laying down in the left.
Sure, I was being nice. Sure. But what will happen is one of those major parks, whether it's Universal, whether it's, you know.
See, Disney right there. You know what happened? You were talking bad about Disney, and they cut your mic off.
That's right. So one of those major three will remove the mask mandate, and then the other two will follow. That's the way it'll work.
Do you think it's going to be SeaWorld, Busch Gardens first?
You know, I'm anti-SeaWorld. So,
I know you are.
Yeah.
But I think they're the third of the big three, and so they're going to have to do it first to get business to come back.
Sure. And what they'll start to do is they'll start to say, look, if you're walking around outside, you don't have to wear it, but once you go inside to the ride part, you have to wear a mask. And they'll start changing the way it is. So, because, you know, most of, like, if you go to a place like Animal Kingdom, you know, probably 85% of it's outside. So
yes.
I think they'll remove that mask mandate when you're outside. And again, you know, my wife works at one of the hospitals in town, and for the first time, their positive rate for patients inside the hospital was below 5%. So and these are sick people.
Right.
Right? These aren't the people who are, you know, oh, I think I have a cold, I'm going to get checked. These are the people who are sick. And the number of hospitalizations for COVID is dropping like a lead balloon. And a lot of that has to do with that herd immunity between all of the different vaccinations. And I think by April, I think we'll be past
Marion County.
Mentality.
Marion County has below 7% positivity rate for 7 days in a row. First time that's happened since the pandemic since the beginning of the pandemic. Over 40,000 of the 50,000 seniors who signed up originally for the vaccinations have received at least their first vaccination shot in Marion County. I mean, Marion County's really been the blueprint of how you should do this.
Well, and a lot of that is because we tend not to we tend to do things our own way. You know, we're an incredibly red county, and there's a reason why I keep coming back here and making this my home. And we just want people to leave us alone. And a part of that is you know, you go into Lowe's, I'd say less than half wear a mask. At at the Lowe's I go to. You know, Publix for a while, nobody was wearing a mask, and then I think somebody reported them. And so now there's this massive sign and somebody checking masks. But
Well,
yeah, and that leads to herd immunity, right? If I get exposed a little bit, I develop antibodies.
Well, I remember.
That's how you get herd immunity.
I remember in the middle of this pandemic when everything else was closed, people would go to Lowe's with no mask on, or Home Depot or one of those places, or Walmart, because they were open. It was like a big social meeting. That's where people, during the pandemic, when you were on lockdown, you looked forward to going to Lowe's or Home Depot or Walmart, hoping you'd run into people you know, and then you'd stand in the aisles for, 20, 30 minutes having a conversation.
Yep.
It was a social meeting. And lo and behold.
Hey, it's funny. It's funny. Coach Ashley, who's the basketball coach of course, I saw him there like 3 days in a row because we were both doing the same thing, painting, because of our wives told us to. And we were bored out of our mind. And we were just standing at the paint counter, 3 days, talking for like half an hour each day about different things going on with his team and what was going on with travel.
It's just, I don't want to say that this is over because it's a virus. It's never going to be over. But I think we're much well-versed a year in than we were. Hey, by the way, we didn't know what this was. A year ago this time, there was 3 cases in Marion County.
Yeah, but when you say we didn't know what it was, it depends on who the we is. The government already had the DNA.
I mean, the general public had no idea.
They put out a lot of misinformation. If you remember, they thought it was passed on hard surfaces.
Yes.
Right? And now we know it's exclusively airborne, and it has to be close contact. And if you look at how this virus is spread, it's spread from family member to family member to family member. That's how this virus is spread. So, if you're in a spot, the social distancing is much more effective than a mask, unless you're going to wear a mask while you're sleeping next to your significant other. Seriously.
I know.
You're at lunch with someone, which you can't wear a mask and
well, people said
lunch.
during the pandemic, I would, once everything opened back up, I went back to my life the way it was. I mean, I would wear a mask if it called for mask, but I did the same thing that I played golf. After golf, I'd go get a few adult beverages at 2 of my favorite places. And one of my favorite places that has karaoke all nights of the week almost would be very crowded. It would be, and people that were locked down go, how are you not getting sick? You're out and about in public. You're doing everything. I go, because you're getting sick because your family members are bringing it in. They go, no, sure. It's being passed at bars and restaurants. And I go, well, if that was the case, why is it I have to wear a mask till I sit down at the table, and then all of a sudden I got like the cone of silence or something that goes around my table, so I'm not able to get it? And why is it bars had to close at 10 o'clock at night? Did COVID come out at 10:05 and would just infect the whole place? So I knew early on this was something that was passed from close contact, and the people you're in close contact with the most, they said, don't be around people you don't know. Only be around people you know. No, the people you know were the ones giving it to you.
Sure. And I went into gyms all over the Southeast this spring and into the summer, and I'm like, I know I've been exposed to it. I just haven't gotten sick. I didn't. My body never developed the antibodies because I got tested for that at work, and nobody in my family got sick. So, a large part of it is we're finding out a lot about it. Like blood type matters. I'm an O-pos. As an O-positive blood donor, you're a lot less likely to get the virus. AB blood type, you're much more likely to get the virus. We now know that there are certain proteins in your body that if you have these 5 proteins, if you do get the virus, it's going to impact you pretty significantly. So we have learned those things, but more importantly, we know how to deal with it. We know how to treat it. And so even if you do get it, it's not a death sentence.
Well, I knew I'd swam in the pool at La Vila and Spinnaker's. I was good.
Oh, well. you're an idiot for doing that. But,
Look, I'm pretty sure at Georgia Southern, I dated 2 or 3 girls that Virus was either their first or middle name. I don't know. It's one of them.
Dated is a loose term.
Right, yes, 100%. Galen, where's the Bloodmobile?
Hey, today we're at the Walmart out in Summerfield, so come by and see us, and as always, we're right there on the boulevard. We are still in critical need of all blood types. Blood usage is skyrocketing, and our donations have remained kind of flat. So we need all the help we can get, so please just donate blood, lightsouth.org.
Galen, I'll talk to you tomorrow, pal.
All right, be good. Bye.
WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
With COVID-19 infections, hospitalizations, and deaths rapidly in decline, the state of Texas will lead the nation in ending the mask mandate and will no longer limit the number of people in any business. Texas businesses may still choose to require patrons to wear masks, but the decision will be at the individual business level. The new rules kick in March 10th. A crash just east of El Centro, California, involving suspected human smugglers and 25 illegal immigrants jammed into a single SUV, left over a dozen dead Tuesday. The overloaded SUV drove into the path of a semi-rig hauling 2 trailers of gravel. Customs and Border Protection said the crash happened 8 miles north of a hole that was cut in the border fence near Calexico, California. The fence that was cut was older and did not involve Trump wall construction. Major League Baseball spring training continues today with 14 games scheduled. This is USA Radio News.
Attention radio listeners, if you're concerned about the power grid and want to generate your own supply of off-the-grid electricity, pay close attention. Here's why. A limited number of solar backup generators are now back in stock. These emergency backup systems provide life-saving electrical backup power when you need it most. And unlike gas generators, solar generators run quietly, emit no dangerous fumes, and produce an endless supply of free electricity from the sun. It's like having an electric power plant running silently in your own home. So whether it's dangerous weather, power grid issues, or just getting off the grid, you'll never have to suffer through painful power outages again. And the best news, this week only, listeners purchasing a solar generator will receive hundreds of dollars in free off-the-grid bonuses. So go to mysolarbackup.com to learn more and check availability. That's mysolarbackup.com. Again, supplies are extremely limited, so go to mysolarbackup.com today.
Who's ready for some good, clean fun? The Ocala Rv Show, Thursday, March 4th through Sunday the 7th at the Florida Horse Park, Central Florida's largest RV show. Hundreds of RVs on display, all outdoors. Plus RV lifestyle booths and daily door prizes. No purchase necessary. Buy one, get one free Thursday only. First responders save $2 every day. The Ocala Rv Show, March 4th through 7th. Thursday 9 till 5, Sunday 10 till 4 at the Florida Horse Park, U.S. Highway 475 South Ocala. Get ready for some good, clean fun.
The First Church of Christ Scientist of Ocala is hosting a free webcast on Saturday, March 20th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Philip Hockley, CS, will be the lecturer and discuss how divine love erases suffering from our lives. His talk will be entitled, A New View of God and Its Effects on Well-Being. Register now. cstalks.org/Ocala-Hockley. Again, cstalks.org/Ocala-Hockley.
If you're looking for top quality roses, your search